from the point of light within the mind of God. Let light stream forth into the minds of mankind. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of mankind. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, a purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of mankind, let the plan of love and light work out. And may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Maitreya.
Okay. I do believe we are on and all is working. Just double check a couple things. Yep, looks good. All right, so today I'm going to continue helping you in the process of all that is happening. One, it is it's an unknown reality in people, because everybody just kind of like goes through their life and eats food and, sleeps and watches things and lives their life. But that isn't really what's going on. That's not my experience. I don't have that experience. My experience is that I see demons. I see demons in people, and I see demons all around, and I fight with them. Yeah, and I because of that, I don't sleep much, and I have an incredibly controlled life. I have to control what I do, what I say, everything. Because I got demons at every breath. I got demons in every form, 24/7, while sleeping, while eating, while doing anything. And they're not just like, aberrations or something. They're things that hit me with really hard metal things, and they break my bones. And I heal through that. I deal with it on a day-to-day basis. And I don't know of anybody else who's having that, who experiences that. I do, because I'm against them. And I see them, and I've willed myself to accept that. But every time a person has a loud voice come out of them, there's at least 10 demons, and they circle the planet. They go into and around the person that's having that experience, and they just think it's the normal life. It's what they do. But they're giving birth to babies, demons, in the moment. People are the mothers and fathers of demons. And you just don't get it. You're the mothers and fathers of human beings. You kind of get that. But you don't relate to the soulful aspect of it, the God part of it, any of that. And you have no idea that you give birth to demons that are causing suffering on the earth. And causing suffering in everything. Plants, animals. The environment pollution is not the pollution that you see. That's karma. That's really evil people, Monsanto and others, that are destroying your earth. And they're not going to tell you about it, and you're not going to know about it. And they're going to have so much money to where they can legally go about it and do it in places you're not going to know it. And they'll keep doing it, simply because they're evil. They're evil. A lot of evil exists, There are demons that exist Satan exists. Fallen angels exist. Not just the things you look at, little kitty cats and dogs and birds and trees and flowers. All the things you see. Yeah. But you're not seeing what's behind the scene. Yeah. What goes bump in the night. And I mean literally bump in the night. Yeah. You don't see it. You don't feel it. If you do, it's just a confusion to you. It's just a confusion, because people do have some lower psychic ability to be bothered by demons, by their anxiety-ridden qualities that they exude, and it gets to you, and you're aware that it's not so much you, it's a dark force. But that's about as far as people can go, because they still get angry. And they're giving birth to the very demons they would like to stop hassling them. That's what karma is. It's not something separate from you. It's not something, some weird cosmic thing, that you think is a boomerang effect, of doing bad or doing good. If you do good, you choose to do good. You choose not to scream. You choose not to holler. You choose not to be mad. You choose not to hurt someone. You choose not to do all those things which give birth to demons. You can't say, well, a demon made me do it. Not necessarily. You're the one who conjured it up. Think about it. Think about it. Really, you should. Yeah. The principles behind the Bible it says it lays it out pretty clearly. Demons are a fulfilling measure of the human character. It's a fulfilling measure. Like lust and greed and anger and jealousy and enviousness. Those need to be fulfilled. Yeah. To do that, it requires demons. And you got to give birth to them. You have to make a choice. Yeah. Let's say a demon, molests you, does things to cause you to think you should have sex with your person of the same sex. Just because they're gay, just because they want it. That's their demon. Yeah. And all you got to do is agree. And you gave birth to another demon called homosexuality. And you can get angry at a person, through jealousy or enviousness, vanity, suspicion, all these things. Whatever reasoning you give it, it's actually a demon. And now it's in you. And you can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of it. You gave birth to it. Yeah. This isn't teachings that, you get very common. You have no idea you give birth to demons. It doesn't really talk about it much in any religion. But, since this is really a problem, and I'm really dealing with this problem, I have to bring this part up. That your anger, your jealousy, your enviousness, your glamours are demons. And they're not outside of you, trying to make you into that glamour. You have to agree. You have to choose. And then you give birth to that demon inside of you, which makes you that. A jealous person, an envious person, a suspicious person. And then you're a writer. The demon starts writing. Starts telling you the story of your bullshit life. Your ambitions, your desires, your reasons for anger, your reasons for suspicion. All your irrational bullshit. Demons lead people to extreme insanity, extreme delusions of glamour. And glamour is a demon. And you have to foster that. And you give birth to it. And it's your own little thing. It's got its own characteristic that mimic you. That's how it tempts you. It's not really your character. Not really. It's kind of like a genetic exposure to your lower self, to hate, to a part of you that doesn't exist. But you give it birth, and now it exists. What do you do with it? How do you get rid of this personality that is, absolute pain to Jesus Christ? Here I am. I'm 24/7. As far as you know, I've been doing this every single day for 2,000 years. That's a long time. I'm not complaining. I'm not, exaggerating anything. I'm just pointing it out. I choose every single day, every single moment. Because I see, I feel, I experience. I know the truth. And it can't be made into something that it's not. It can't be made into, we could deal with it with psychology. We can better ourselves by realizing that we need to change our characteristics and things like that you would find in psychology. But you need to know the truth. What makes you do these things? What makes gay people characteristically the same? It's not because it's one demon. It's because they're giving birth to demons. And they come from the same place. They have the same desire body. All demons come from Satan. If you study anything to do with Satanism, it has to do with conjuring and spells and curses, making demons. So Satanists want you to be a Satanist. Why? Because you'll make demons. And you'll make this a demonic world. Well, what happens when you have a demonic world? People have no morals, no ethics. They rob everywhere. They sleep on the street. They can't have a job. They want drugs to be legal, completely legal, of every kind. Not only legal, but give them to me free. Let me sleep on your street. Let me sleep in front of your business. And when I'm really hungry, I'll go in your business and I'll steal whatever I want. And I'll get you to the point to where you'll defund the police. That is what demons are. Demons can take over an entire city. They can take over an entire planet. And it's happening. But I'm stopping it. But I would really rather have your help. Change your temperament, please. You have to change your temperament. If you can't find friendship in every single person you meet, it's you. It's not because that person's an asshole or ugly or has too many tattoos. It has nothing to do with that. You can see beyond it. I always do. You can. I just don't have the demons. Which makes me be very suspicious or make me be very subjective, and constant and, want to tell people what to do or how to do it or why or my own feelings, and, as though I can help, as though I can lead people onto a better way. That process, is a characteristic that, most people have. They have a very strong tendency, to have pride, to have ego. Now, if the demons are built in you, which is by your choices, every choice you make can be a birth of a demon. In Buddhism, we call that karma. But But we explain it pretty in-depthly that karma is a demon. It's an impurity. It's a wrong thing you did. You turn the wheel of karma. To do that, something's got to come back. And that's a demon. That's a demon. Bad luck, illness, disease, chaos, murder, all of it comes from these demons. And you give birth to them. And you have no idea. And if you stop this, guess what happens? You abort them. You abort them. Just like you can abort babies here, you can abort demons. Yeah? You give it no more energy. The only reason it exists is because you are its God. Study Satanism just for a minute, and they'll tell you that you're a God. That you have free will to be angry or ugly or pretty or anything you want. Anything you want, yeah? It's free will all the way. Yeah? That way your choices, will be led by demons. And you'll be subjected to opportunities that will be temptation. And whether or not you choose, and you won't, because once you've already done many, many wrong things, and you have anger, you have suspicion, you have paranoia and jealousy, you have enviousness. That's you. It's now you. Try and get in a relationship. Oh, man, what are you, you're jealous, you're envious. How are you going to have a relationship? You can't. There's demons. Your demons. And they won't allow you to have a relationship. Why? Because they make you angry. Unlikable. And it's not real. It's not real. But it is what it is. It's what we have. We have whole cities taken over by demons. Now, I've been giving this teaching for quite a while. And I warned you for a long time. Yeah. And we are now in the externalization process where Satan is going to jail. There's very few of you that really can see him as Satan. You just think, well, he's evil. That's obvious. But there is a hierarchy in this process. There really is. These people reincarnate. And they make demons every time they incarnate. A lot of them. And that controls their very behavior. To where they have absolutely no moral compass. None. Imagine Hitler. Did he have a moral compass? Not at all. Why? Because of his previous lives. Many, many, many demons made up Hitler. Many, many, many demons made up Michael Jackson. After being Hitler. And obtaining all the demons he did. And all those transferred into Michael Jackson. And what happened there? What if you were a Satanist? What would your goal be? Fame and fortune. Yep, delusion. Delusion of the highest level of fame and fortune. You would have to make a lot of money, because, you're in control of things. You expect it. You're superior. Why are you superior? You've given birth to more demons than anybody else on earth. You're superior. Yeah. Now, who else did that? Quite a few. If we look back in history, where the hell is Stalin right now? Yeah, where's Herod? Yeah, where's the heads of Rome? Yeah, where's Mussolini? Well, we all know Mussolini is Donald Trump. And he really made a lot of demons in his last life. Yeah. And which created a man of extreme arrogance. Do you ever watch his speeches? Yeah. Extremely arrogant. Extremely arrogant. Yeah. He created fascism. Created it. The word came from him. That's a demon. That's a demon itself. Fascism. Big demon. Lots of people follow it. And Trump is a fascist. You know, that's why it's impossible for Trump to change. Because he has so many lives of demons that make up who he is. They gave him the ability to be Trump. They gave him the ability to own Mar-a-Lago. They gave him the ability to be president of the United States. He sold his soul a long time ago. And it's always that way. It doesn't matter who's in that boat. It doesn't matter if it's Elon Musk. Doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden. Doesn't matter who it is. You got demons. You all have demons. And the worst part is that you are either the mother or the father to these demons. You're their creator. They don't have a God, you know. So how did they get manifested? They did because you are a child of God. Misdirected. Misusing your energy as co-creator for God. And you're creating demons with that same energy. That's called the evil spirit. And yet, you are born with the Holy Spirit. Problem is that in your previous life, what if you were gay? What if you were a murderer? What if you were murdered and died in a fight like a military person? You know, it's not that easy to get through a life without making demons and falling out of grace with God and creating your own personal armor, your own personal characteristics that you take with you into your next life. And you wonder, why are you a militant little shit? Shit, you're only 3 years old. And you're the same when you're 18, 19, and 30. Same person. Because you brought him with you. You're not evil. You're not evil. You're a child of God. But you must relinquish giving birth to demons through your misbehaving process. The Bible is written in order for you to understand what happens with sin. How the whole world could be wiped away because of sin. How cities could be wiped away because of sin. How people are led into delusion because of sin. How you can put Jesus the Christ on a cross because of sin. The sin was greater than the goodness. Not even 12 disciples could remember Jesus Christ was worthy of not going on a cross. But their demons led them in fear, led them in glamours that they themselves had and continued having. Now, that's the problem with the whole world. The whole world. The whole world. Right now, you are in an apocalyptic situation because you make babies that are demons. Not human babies, but spirit babies. Characteristics that take the place of your holiness, of your health, of your prosperity that is properly given to you. Yeah. It's difficult. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, that's a bad one. Let me find one more. Just a second. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to show you this chart, and it has on it the chakras, and I'm going to go through it because most people just simply are lost the moment I start talking about this, because just too many demons that are using these things, using these rays, using these chakras, not for the betterment of humanity or yourself. You all have suffering. You all have weird situations, people shooting people. People own guns on this planet. That's absolutely, where I come from, that's just not done. Only Satans do that. So look at these chakras for a second. Okay? It says healthy and unhealthy. Let's just look at the unhealthy. So here we are. We look at that, but we have to think in terms of the fact that we are two beings, male and female. Male and female. Yeah. And everybody, especially the chicks, they want to absolutely say, we're equal. There's no difference between us. We're equal. Why, don't make any differences. I don't care if we don't look the same. We're still equal. For somehow, some way, we're equal. Yeah. But that's just an illusion. That's just a hope. I can jump over that great big long bridge, make it to the other side. Ooh, whoops! I didn't. I died. Yeah. Well, that was a delusion because you missed it by 20 feet. And just thinking, there are things that you can do that you really can't do, and we go through that all the time. And we really have no experience in life to make that choice or make that understanding clearly. So I'm trying to give you a point of reference so that you understand, you come in two different genders. You really do. And God created it that way. Yeah? And in doing so, if we look at the healthy side, you'll see these chakras have 7 rays to them. Yeah? And there are 3 rays on the bottom of the triangle and 3 rays on the top of the triangle and a ray in the center, which is called the second ray, and that's the heart. And that always stays there, even in an unhealthy chakra arrangement or healthy. It always stays there. Yeah? And unhealthy and healthy does not represent male and female. If you're an unhealthy person in a chakric disorder, which means that you are basically evil. That's a heck of a thing. But you're not just evil. You're susceptible because you give birth to babies. You choose to do this. Yeah? How do you do it? Well, look at the unhealthy side. You have a 7th ray down at the sacral center. Sacral center being the sexual center. Yeah? That's where a healthy ray is at. That's your creation ray. That's where you create your babies. Little boys, little girls. We create babies. That's when we're healthy. We have a chakra sitting there, and our intention is to create babies. But what if that drops down to the base? Well, we don't like giving babies. Too much trouble. Girls get pissed off. I'd rather kill them. I'd rather have a job. I'd rather be equal, like a man, without the ability to give babies. No, that's crazy shit, but that is exactly the way they think. Yeah? Why? Because these chakras in an unhealthy state turns into evil. Evil. The 7th ray goes down to the base. So now you're just like a wizard or a warlock or a witch. That's what those rays are in those positions. You're now a magician. because you've taken covenant with evil. And it changes your rays so that you can be reborn as a magician. And you live your life thinking you are. You think you're lucky, you can go gamble, you can do anything you want because you're a magician. And you're not. You're not. Satan's lying to you. You're not a magician. And you're not God. You're not. And you don't have a right to kill babies. You don't have a right to kill each other. All these things you do is because those rays are in the wrong place and you're practicing witchcraft and you have no idea you're doing it. Your anger, your delusion, your suspicion, your paranoia. You're just being led by the demons that are inside you to separate you from other people, to make you feel like you're unwanted, to make other people feel like they're unwanted, to compete with people as though you're better and they're worse. You should win, they should lose. Those are all demons, and it's not a personal problem. It's not a personal thing. You made that freaking demon. You gave birth to it. You have to own up to the reality of doing these things before we can change, before you can come into right reality. So it's a difficult thing. When you're on a planet and it says, look, hey, what are you, homophobic? Yeah? What are you afraid of being gay? Yeah? That's why you don't like people to be homosexual, as though it's a like and dislike thing? It's not. It's not. It has to do with the Lord. And the Lord as a teacher that you can take relationships with and you can learn to understand from. That God does judge. And there is a place, heaven and hell, when you die. And most of you have a very high chance of ending up in hell. But Jesus saves you and sends you back here, even though you ended up in hell. Jesus doesn't keep you from going to hell. You do. It's your ability to let go of making demons that allows you to be a real human being, a humane being with healthy chakras. Yeah. And when you do that, you further the transcendental reality of reincarnation, and that furthers a flow line of the Holy Spirit for people who are meant to be together, meant to live their lives together, meant to live out their lives together. It happens. But with your demons, you're changing time. You're changing the outcome of the history of the world. By separating God's holy plan from His force and ability to reincarnate people in His magical way. What's the chance you're gonna finally heal yourself in this life? And if not, maybe the next life. And your karma is so clean, so good, that God gives you a lover. God gives you children. And you learn about God's plan of being a human being and what it means. It's very simple. Male, female, children. Yeah? But you cannot be a father who gives birth to demons and have children at the same time. Or have a wife and keep her. Or be a woman who does the same thing and have a husband and keep him. And care about the children. Yeah, you won't. You may think you do, but you won't. Yeah, you'll care more about other things that the demons have made contracts with you. so that your life will be what you want it to be. Yeah. It takes humility. It takes a lot of humility. It takes a lot of letting go. It takes a lot of learning to love people despite your lack of ability to tolerate, to trust, to have lower astral processes go on between people, bringing up bad habits in a person and bad habits in yourself. All of a sudden, you don't have a good relationship because you're both a little freaky. And that can all go away if you can befriend each other and use that relationship to develop trust. But that's, I'm the one telling you this. Yeah. Because it's true. It's who we are. We're the Holy Spirit. We're the healthy chakras. Yeah. But a lot of humanity is not. A lot of humanity, almost all of humanity, is unhealthy chakras. What happens when you got unhealthy chakras? And the chakras are set up for you to be a Satanist, for you to be an intellect, an atheist, not a religious person, devout in any way, shape, or form. Just fanatic. Just fanatic. Like a military, click your heels together. Salute. That's the kind of religious fanatic people are. They're not real. They're just fanatics. It's not a religion. It's just a military process. And the religion is the process. It's just fanatic. It's unhealthy. Yeah? And it's because people, through self-doubt, through anger, through hostility, through aggression, through all kinds of things, they fester. And that festering makes manifest a demon. You sit and think these thoughts over and over and over on a record. You're giving birth to hundreds of demons in a day. Finding fault in people, judging people, thinking that they're just a bad thing. Not being able to see any light, not being able to raise any understanding. It's not about, I'm compassionate or I'm empathetic. It's about not having the demons that cloud your way of seeing somebody or something or or any given situation. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for anybody to have to cope with because we have a big deal going on. Let's see, let me just show you a couple things. This is two. Oh boy. Yeah, like in our government, we have a lot going on in governmental reality. We have this person here. Biden's transgender health official. This is a guy. I've seen a lot of guys with long hair. I'm sure you have too. We all went through the 60s, most of us. And it's not odd to see a guy with long hair, not at all. But it is odd to see a guy who decides that he is a girl. Yeah? And he's as queer as could be. He is not a girl, and he's even the Secretary of Health in our government, of all freaking things. And he's got the whole government. He's got the vice president, the president, and other people all saying that transgender does exist, and that guys could become girls, and that it's totally normal for athletes who are guys to go into girls' gym and take on and say, I'll sign up as a girl, let me compete. And they absolutely allow that to happen. Yeah. And that's our world today. Why? Because of this person, this one person, this one main person in the United States. Yeah. If we didn't allow this, to manifest in the way it did, then we would be so much further ahead than we are today. Yeah, cities would not be falling apart. We wouldn't be losing Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Portland. We wouldn't be losing those cities. We wouldn't be losing Texas, Austin, Texas, all these different places that are completely being destroyed, defunded, ran over by a bunch of people who cannot carry out any civil order. Yeah, they're laying on the street. Yeah, they're robbing all the stores. Yeah, they're homosexuals in the government, and they're saying, "Well, what we're going to do is defund the police. That'll fix it." They're making decisions like witches and warlocks. Yeah, and if you study it, in the center of that is a school of Satanism. There's a church, a temple of Satanism at each one of these major cities that manifest all of this into the world. Yeah, that's a little much. That's what it is we really are dealing with. We're being taken over. Yeah, New World Order. We're after your kids. We're out to get your children. Yeah. We're queer. Yeah, we're here and we're not going anywhere. Yeah. That's their motto. And they're an angry bunch of people. Very angry. Yeah. Their process is to make sure that you have nothing you could do about it. Yeah. Their whole thing is to make sure that this is done as an overthrow, as a series of choices. A series of choices. Yeah. Let's say your school teacher comes into school and your principal comes into school, and they've just been hired and they're both lesbians, and one is a guy who's actually transgender, and they're taking down the American flag and they put up this flag. Now we know this happened. It happened all over. Yeah. And the kids go in and they have to say, what is your nouns? What is your pronoun? Are you a boy or a girl? What do you feel? They're not asking this of the parents. They're asking this of the of the child. I get attacked a lot. Yeah. So anyway, they act this of everybody. And you have to make a choice in what you're doing or why you're doing it. So most people are allies because they have so many demons. The demons cooperate until they become gay themselves, until they accept themselves as being gay. Yeah, and there's not a real acceptance in the process that we're walking into, because they actually want to grab the little children and change girls into boys and boys into girls before they're 5 or 6 years old, so that there's no choice in the matter anymore. This isn't about choice. They don't have to change your chakras anymore. They don't have to have you build up the demons anymore. Yeah, they'll do it for you. That's the New World Order. Yeah. And you need to know, you need to understand shit, rather than thinking that your anger, your temperament, your frustration, your lack of ability to get along with people is just a little problem. It is not. It is not. It is homosexual in itself. It's a demon of a gay response. Anger is a gay response, not a straight man's response. Straight person's response is strength, courage, and understanding. That's a straight person's response. And the more gay we get with these elementals, the more emotional we get, the more frustrated, more intellectual we get. These people are very intellectual. The LGBT, they'll fight you tooth and nail over everything. Yeah? It is a very big thing for them to get everybody to become this process. Yeah. And it's not a lighthearted thing. They're very, very, yeah. Imagine this. All of our kids are sick. Why? 1 in 6 have learning disability. 1 in 10 have asthma. 1 in 10 have ADHD. 1 in 13 have food allergies. 1 in 20 have seizures. 1 in 68 have autism. 1 in 42 boys have autism. Half of our children have a chronic illness. Half. And many are overweight. It's a new normal in our country. Why is that? Why is that? What's possibly going on? What is it that could be going on? Yeah. Could demons be thinking of you as a baby, as a child, as a grown-up, and you're getting sick because of it? Not enough to hate your neighbor. It's not enough to hate someone who wants to help you. The hate is so great in people now that we're giving birth to so many demons. Yeah. That we now have an excess of demons. We can now surface them in little babies and we can have them lie to themselves. Look at that poor little kid. We now have a lot of children that have gone through this process. Pediatricians. Yeah. There are people trying to say, hey, look, these doctors out there who's saying that you need to do this gender thing because psychologically they would come out healthier and happier. It's all a lie. It never happens that way. It never does. And we have to get through this process. We can't because of the demons. And we can't say, oh, it's the gay people. They have demons. No. Everybody's got demons. Everybody. Stop feeding your sin. Stop feeding your sin. You're making those demons. Your slander. Yeah. Your rage. Yeah. Your lies, your hate, your enviness, your jealousy, your pride. And it fills up with that. And that becomes your disease, dis-ease. That means your chakras are not going to be holy. And they're not going to function or be in the position that they're meant to be by God. They will be in the position meant to be by Satan. Now look at this guy over here. If that's not a manifestation of a demon, I don't know what is. And they're after the kids. These are men dressed up as women. And yet women, imagine, you're a black person. And people want to, white people, say, I'll put blackface on. Call myself a nigger. No problem. What's the problem with that? When you think so little, when you have so little love, so little care for a fellow human being like a black person, you've rottened it down to burning them on a stake, to hanging them and hating them. And if you put blackface on in order to humiliate them, not to say, oh, we're equal. And yet these guys are doing this in order to destroy women and all girls that are incarnated as girls. They're men who want to destroy women. And I've explained this to you a lot. I've said every gay guy hates a woman. Every gay guy hates a woman. Every gay guy hates straight men unless they will have sex with them. They think they're ugly. They think they're lesser of a human being, less enlightened and everything. Yeah. Talk to women who are feminists. They're so deluded. Yeah. Men are useless. What are they for? What do they do? They don't do anything. I could do whatever they do. Better. A lot better. Oh, yeah. I could be president. I could be everything. I make choices that are better than any man. Well, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. And I'm not saying women are this or men are that. I'm saying all of you are making demons. And in doing that, you're losing your gender. Men are to protect women. Protect them. Yeah. From all kinds of things. Provide for them a home, income, food, safety, protection. That's normal. When a situation arises, that's what happens. Just natural. Just what a human being is. Yeah. And women, they love their men because they make them safe. They provide for them a home, and they work so hard in order to do it without complaint. And the woman does her best to provide a good meal, and a good loving home, and very healthy, happy children. This is normal. This is normal. I mean, this is what we get. This is what the outcome is. It's normal. But not when you have homosexuals. Even one is one too many. You cannot have any homosexuals. None. You can't even foster the feminist theory that men are useless and that they're just aggressive masculine toxicity. That's just plain bullshit. Plain bullshit. So in humanity, when we have opportunities, how do we deal with them? Let's say that there is astrology. Yeah, and let's say that there's numerology, and there's these witches and warlocks that sit on the corner, and they want us to come in and get our palms read, and want us to believe that they can help us find a husband or a wife and a better job, and all these things. Control over life itself. Make it a better world for ourselves. Yeah. Well, what kind of person does that? A person without faith. A person who has demons. Yeah. And the demons lead them because their chakras now are that of a witch or a warlock. And if by nature, which of these two, the male or the female, is more attuned to another witch or a warlock? Yeah. In order to have a sorcerer help them out, have an astrologer help them out. Yeah. Is it equal? Who does this? I mean, if you think about it, it's a person's where their mind is at. Yeah. Selfishness. Yeah. Willing to do something behind other people's back and possibly bring a demon into their life in order to get a result, or into a business. Anything. The moment you walk in behind that curtain and you talk to that witch or warlock, you're making a deal with the devil. And there's a part of you that knows it. I mean, this isn't just a choice where you go, oh, okay, I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna be angry. I'm not gonna do that sort of thing. But it's a process where you actually walk into the coven, and you're more of a demon maker than the person next to you. So, on average, who does this? On average, a gender split. Who goes into the curtain and asks to manipulate the world outside of them? 67% is women, and 33% is men. But it's growing. Look how many men have tattoos. Yeah. Look how many men are gay. Look how many men want to be transgender. Yeah. You take direction under these things. Imagine the confusion. Because you're only going to receive the Holy Spirit in the opposite spectrum, which is the evil spirit. Yeah. And it's not going to be what you're expecting at all. Because it comes much further down the road. Yeah, you just can't see the dots. You can't see where they're connected, how it led to your divorce, how it led to your child having cancer, how it led to you getting a better job. But the people who you work with, their lives have been changed because you're not the one who's supposed to have that job. 24% of people believe there are individuals who can see into the future. Of that, 28% is female. 19% are men. And it's growing. 1 out of 10 believe in palm reading can accurately predict the future. And tarot cards. We're in this world and you just don't know it because you got to get rid of a lot, and there's more going on to affect you than you could ever imagine. Imagine you want to go to Portland. That's a nice place. Portland's a nice place. And you're thinking, I'm telling you, what's going on in Portland is not what you're expecting. Let's look at Portland. This is, I don't know if most of you know about, the history of our satanic America, but it's one of its main origins of the Church of the Temple of Satan was San Francisco, and it still is, but that church has hundreds of other churches throughout America, and one of the leading churches is located in Portland, and they have a Satan, incarnated Satan, who walks the streets of Portland. And, this is what makes you angry at another person, is the existence of this person on the earth. You're just angry, but they're the ones making you angry, making you give birth, because they are the temple of Satan. Their god is Baphomet, and your anger is the element of Baphomet. All of England is under the authority of Baphomet. Most countries, Finland, Iceland, Korea, China, are under the authority of Baphomet. And all it takes is a lot of killing, a lot of hate, a lot of suspicion, a lot of jealousy. It creates dictators and kings in the end, like the King of England. Well, we have our own set of processes with these Satanists, and they're taking over towns, and the towns are being taken over by the homeless and homosexuals.
At least as far as the Church of Satan is concerned. We feel that Satan is polemic, he is allegorical, and he is symbolic. He represents the forces of nature that make mankind something unique and individual, that element that allows us to perceive ourselves as gods, as opposed to worshiping a sentient being outside of ourselves.
This is walking the streets of Portland, and everybody loves it.
That was a standard Church of Satan party line, which I was willing to use to help
That's him now.
develop the philosophy of the Church of Satan. But deep down inside, every man has his own views and his own perspectives and his own truth. And mine was very, very different than that. So anybody who wants to say, well, that's just delusional or that's just fantasy thinking, it's like, that's fine for you, but either A, that's a personal perspective, or B, it's a claim of omniscience. And
That's something to look at, people. That's what I deal with. These people come to me all the time, and they are what bothers you, but you don't. You only deal with the homosexuals. You only deal with, why are they making these kids into lesbians? But I'm dealing with this guy and many others just like him. I would say at least 11,000 that I'm dealing with. And they come to me with sticks and clubs in a projected form. And they're angry and they're hostile. And they want me to stop. Yeah. And that's the guy. Yeah. And, you know, and all he is hostility, and he hates his fellow. It's everything a Satanist is. Look at this. That's everything a Satanist is. Yeah. He's now the head of the temple of Satan. Yeah. And this is a manifestation that we've all carried out. Humanity has brought him to our midst. And he walks amongst us in the United States.
completely deny that in the Chaos Imperium.
At least as far as the Church of Satan is concerned. We feel that Satan is polemic, he is allegorical, and he is symbolic. He represents the forces of nature that make mankind something unique and individual.
That's 20 years ago, and he's still there. And over that time, homosexuality has become the haven in that position, in that place. Now, the first original Church of Satan is a man named Levoy, who looks identical to this guy. Identical. And he was in the 1960s in San Francisco. Rosemary's Baby and the Satan that they used to give seed, to have sex, to rape Rosemary and give her a baby was this man. And he did it in a satanic ceremony on film, so all of you can watch it. And that became part of the satanic revolution inside of humanity. Movies. Brought to you by the Temple of Satan. And none of you know this shit. None of you know this. I know it. I've known it all along. I can't even go to San Francisco. Yeah. It just permeated. with so much evil, beyond anything you could ever imagine. And what has it done to these cities? Satanism in San Francisco is synonymous to Anton LaVey's Church of Satan. Dubbed the Black Pope, LaVey was a crime scene photographer, a nightclub organist, can you imagine that? A psychic and a lion tamer before becoming the face of modern evil. In 1968, he served as the consultant in the set of Rosemary's Baby, and he also was the actor who played the part of Satan who raped Rosemary. San Francisco and surrounding Bay Area have been home to several satanic and possibly satanic serial killers, such as the Zodiac Killer and the Night Stalker. Yeah, and that's no coincidence, folks. Truth is, in homosexuality, the largest number of murderers are homosexuals. Isn't that a gas? Yeah. Take a look at this list. And this is the guy that I just showed you. His name is Diabolus Rex Magister, which means he's a magi of the Temple of Church of Satan. He walks the street of Portland as an evil queer. His gay Diabolus Rex is a familiar sight in Portlanders, forever clad in a black and piercing 4-inch subdermal horns. You saw those. A visit to his dungeon showcases his wardrobe of a dozen black leather frock coats, a metal cage, a 3-ton sarcophagus of complete and skeleton, a sarcophagus complete with skeleton, a gallery worth of terrifying depictions of hell in paint and steel. And you also meet Balrog, the most fearsome bulldog, very much like the Hound of Hell. What a guy. What a guy. You can visit that guy anytime you want. He's alive and well right now in Portland. Yeah, and their whole process is to have a sanctuary for homosexuals, to go into school and talk to principals and say, you know, there's a lot of bullying going on here, and there are bullies against homosexuals, you know. So we need to do an anti-bully thing. Let us come in and do a program to help kids not to be bullies. And they did it. That bully program is a homosexual program that opens up the process of transgender and pronouns. Each state is opening up to these things. Oregon itself, which is where Portland is, first state in the United States to approve a satanic after-school program in public schools, the National Satanic After-School Satan Club. Program has also been proposed in schools in Atlanta, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Tucson, and Washington, D.C., as well as Springfield, Missouri, and Pensacola, Florida. And a school is going in Seattle. Yay! Jesus. And they're everywhere now. Yeah, they're clubs. The kids go in. They put a Satan statue in there. They dress up a person as Satan and take him into school.
Demons are literally infiltrating the school system. Check this out. In public school systems all around America, little children are being forced to worship the devil. The devil knows that if he can corrupt little children, he can corrupt America, and he can eventually corrupt an entire generation. From satanic high priests coming into schools and teaching them how to worship the devil, to dressing up like literal demons in front of these children. But that's not even the crazy part. Instead of a generation being taught how to worship God, they're literally forcing these kids to worship the devil.
That's true. But you're all ignorant of it. You know, you go to Burger King and think, oh, I'm going to Burger King. That's it. That's what I'm doing today. And you're totally ignorant of the workings of the devil and how insidious it is. And drag shows, you see them in the news. There's so many of them. Yeah, and the news media comes out and says, well, people aren't very liberal anymore. You know, getting upset about guys dressed up as girls doing a drag for little kids. What could be wrong with that? Very, very few media does anything or says anything. Yeah, they just think you're not as liberal as you should be. You know, that insanity, and it's not just insanity. It's demons. Demons. Imagine, I put you on this earth. That was holy. I'm holy. I did a holy thing. I saved you. I forgave you. And I brought you back. And I let you try again. Yeah. And what do you do with that life? Yeah. Do you find anxiety and fear? And do you get molested? Do you not tolerate people and not do anything to change that? And just think it's your nature, or you blame other people because they're evil? Yeah. Well, society's crazier than shit. And there's a reason. There's a reason. Demons. Now, the person I'm going to show you is an actual lady. A lady. Two ladies. Yeah. One is standing there saying, you know, it's just not morally right to kill a baby. It's just not morally right. And all the others who are up there saying, well, you know, it's just a bunch of cells, a clump of cells. It's not real. It's not a soul. It's not alive. You know, all those reasons. You know, and the other lady, she just goes on and she goes, well, you know, it really is a baby. You know, and it really does have hands. It has eyes. It has feet. You know, and you're aborting it. And you're kind of missing truth. If you knew the truth, maybe you wouldn't do it. But their demons do not allow them the truth. That's the thing about demons. And see, what if you find someone who you really don't like? You think you don't like. Something about them bugs you. What if it's a past life? And it's your best friend? Well, a lot of times love from previous lives does draw people together. But what it was that drew them apart, and what it was that they went through in their previous lives, it's hard for them to find that same level of love for another person. Trust, friendship, all those things. Yeah. There's a law of love. It's called attraction. Yeah. And we got 1 million friends. We have 1 million mothers and fathers who's been our previous mother and father. You gotta love them. Yeah. And what if they were your brother or your sister? Maybe you love them too. And they've reincarnated. But are they your brother in this life? No, but you're going to run across them. And you probably won't like them. Because you love them. When you really do love someone from a previous life, you have to help them work out the differences between you two. It's just what happens. That's what life is about. But we don't know that. We're not taught any of this. We're not taught that we reincarnate. We're not taught that all our loved ones come back with us. We're not taught that we're all from the same life. We're not separate. We're not different. We're not in a different bubble or another planet or another dimension. We're just reincarnating. Yeah, we're living, then we die. And everybody we were living with, they die. So then we all reincarnate. And we're all back. So you got a 99% chance of running across people you love. If you love people. And you probably love your parent. If they loved you. Maybe not. In this world today, it's hard because of the reincarnation process and our demonic anger, our wars, our hostility, our separation that we go through in our life. We never build love. We're too far apart. We're spending all our time in war, and then we die there. So we never meet our kids. We never really get to know our wife. And we reincarnate, and we're looking for the same person. And we want to continue what we were going to do. It's just the way it is. It's how we are. Yeah, we're following love. Whether you like it or not, this is not a scary world. This is not a world of apocalypse or destruction or all those things. It's a world of love. But I got to get you past this process because you do not have the law of attraction on your side. Yeah? You repel. You have to learn about this. That the people that you're brought in contact with have a very high chance of being your closest friends from previous life. And they're totally strangers. They're just people you happen to know at the store, people you happen to meet on a plane, people you live next door to that you just moved in. Nobody's a stranger. Nobody. Yeah. The police officer that stops you, comes up alongside the car, could be your brother from a previous life. And there's a very high chance it is. So if you line up, the law of attraction will bring you good karma. All your friends. People who will help you. People who will look after you. People who will be there in that last moment when you thought no one was around that would care. And all of a sudden, out of the blue. Because that's the way God does this. God is constantly working toward love, toward relationships, right relationships, good, long-term relationships. God feels that if you are a good person, if you are a loving person, If you can get past your paranoia and your delusions and your intense desire for whatever, and you can become humble and simple and normal and healthy. And it may take a half a life to get you there. But then you're capable of having a friend. You're capable of marrying the opposite sex, because it's not that easy. You need to be able to be the male you are or the female you are. 100%. Because that's what you're going to offer. Yeah. If you're a guy, you got to go work out 4 times a week. You got to follow very, very, very specific rules. And so do girls. Yeah. We don't have a life to where we think, oh, my goal in life is to be a doctor. My goal in life is to be a lawyer. Yeah. That's a side thing. Your goal in life is to be a good person, a great husband, a great friend, a great everything. If you find fault in people, find out why for sure. Don't let it be gossip. Don't let it be your mind. Be real. You got to come to reality. That's the law of attraction. Yeah. It's the opportunity we have to draw to us a whole other world that supports our dream. Yeah. Because this situation in that's being set up by Satanists and homosexuals and everything that's happening is just to destroy everything that we are here for. And we're not going to let that happen. Yeah. We're a very interesting place. Yeah, we have a lot to offer inside of everything. Yeah. But when we're taken over by these demons, like in Portland, that guy walking the street, been doing it for a while. Do you think he's a pedophile? That'd be scary, wouldn't it? That guy. But he is. He lusts after little kids. He lusts after everything. Yeah. And in doing that, he wants Satan everywhere. So he initiated this. The Satanist Club coming to Oregon elementary schools. If you're a Satanist and you know it, this is what they're going to do. They're going to sing this song. If you're a Satanist and you know it, clap your hands. That's for kids. That's just one nursery rhyme that children in Oregon public schools will be singing thanks to 2 newly approved after-school programs. The local satanic church and witch coven. Now, the reason why I'm telling you all this stuff, you're looking at yourself, I'm not a part of a Satanist club. I don't know any Satanists. I've never been to a Satan temple. I don't worship Satan. You don't have to. It's your very character. You're an ally. And they know it. And they're playing you like a string. Their ceremonies are only for your glamours. Only for your glamours. And if you have those glamours, guess what? God is not causing them. Some other ceremony is doing it. So yeah. They take you from being kind of a Christian to not being a Christian, to being afraid of women, being afraid of other men. being afraid of people. Paranoid. Well, you find yourself in the street, you can't get a job, you're too paranoid. You drink, take drugs in order to cover it up. Check this out. This is what's happening. The local satanic church and witch coven are actually casting spells and hexes on good Christian men who made a stand for the dignity and the safety of women and children. They are holding black masses in city parks in order to intimidate anyone who dares to speak out against them. All that is missing is for them to be wearing white hoods and burning crosses in order to stop anyone from speaking out against their woman face and promotion of pedophilia. In other words, men who dress up as women. The desires are so understandable as they are sick and twisted. None of their sexual debauchery leads to procreation. And if by some miracle it did, they would murder the child anyway by abortion, or along with their satanic cohorts, are great supporters of the abortion industry. And they lead people to demonic mental glamours. And you can't make sense when you're in those demonic mental glamours because everything is gossip. It's like a soap opera. You know, everybody's think they knows what other people are doing and why they do what they do. But do they really? Are they just creating chaos? And they don't know they're creating chaos, but they are. And in the end, it's going to become violence. Just the way it is. So here we are. I'm going to show you a person, a lady, who by nature she could get pregnant. Yeah. She can choose not to get pregnant. In this day and age, not so hard. Abstinence is the best one. I recommend that one. Keep your legs closed. No sex whatsoever. And better yourself. Exercise. Get healthy. Yeah. But if that's not the case and you're a fat pig and you are wasted in your life and you're stupid and you have ridiculous homosexual tendencies and friends that are the same, you'll end up talking like this.
I think they'd be better off never born than dying from starvation.
How do you know they're going to die from starvation?
I don't.
So, assumption is the category of Satanism. That's why people assume this person said that about me or thinks that about me or this or that. It's all an assumption. It's a demonic spell placed on people by their own demon, you know, because it reflects in the conditions that they're in. So this particular lady is Cracker Barrels, and she's going, I don't want to bring a baby into the world. I would rather kill it because the outcome of that baby, I know the outcome of that baby will be starvation. How do you know that?
But there's a really high chance if like they're being abused and they do die
Do you
from
think that's making
starvation.
assumptions?
Yes, no.
What happens when you make assumptions?
I'm not assuming anything. I'm saying if that
No, you
child
just
does die.
said you were assuming. I don't think because we think a person may suffer that justifies prescribing death to them.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, she took that well. And that's what happens when you have a lot of demons. Yeah. It's your character. And these demons are perverted demons. Perverted demons. You know, so you lose self-control. Yeah, you'll go to the clinic, you know, every few months because, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. You know, it's just part of your culture. But that culture is the Satanic Temple. Yeah. And it's got you going. It sets you up. It owns the place you're going to get rid of the baby. The Satanic Temple. So none of this is separate. You know, imagine we have past lives. What kind of life are we going to have in the future if we do not straighten out our process? I'm going to get rid of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in just a year off this planet. All Satanists. All Satanists. And others are going to go to prison. Yeah, all Satanists. Yeah. But because of the allyship of people being mean to their wives, being mean to their children, being mean to their business partners, being mean to their corporation, being mean to everything, their corporation being mean to their employees, like Elon Musk, a crazy-ass guy telling everybody, we got to go to Mars. You know, there's kids today that are thinking they're going to go to Mars, wasting their life. They're not going to go to Mars. They should be thinking about doing things that they need to do. Prepare for their family. Prepare for their life. Prepare. But not listen to these cult leaders that are all leading us into a delusion. He's a crazy man. In Portland, or in Austin, Texas, I'm going to go over a few different states just to show you that we're losing the country of the United States, and that their political group are all queer. In Austin, Texas, in Portland, Oregon, in Seattle, in Los Angeles, they're queer. So what happens when a queer gets in a frustrating situation? Quit. That's what happens. They just quit and change their mind. Do something else. Quit being a guy. Nope. Now I want to be a girl. Nope. Now I want to be half a girl. Now I want to be 3 times a girl or a boy or whatever. Yeah. That's not just crazy. Yeah. This affects our society, our whole society. What if they want to take over Christmas? Ooh, aren't those nice looking people? These 2 guys right there, yep, they're head of the city council. Yeah, head of the city council of Austin. You always think Texas, them good old boys. Not anymore, folks. Yep. They are doing Yuletide gay Christmas, and they did it in a church. Those are all a bunch of fags querying out, singing along, changing all the songs into desire songs of wanting sex with other men. Yep. Oh, you got to check it out. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But it is true. If you don't change your shit, Satan's going to make this world, including you, gay. Your anger is gay. Your frustration is gay. Your lack of understanding things and being prejudiced is gay. The path you're on is becoming a gay person. A weak, intolerant homosexual. Now, what do the homosexuals say? Oh, it's all about tolerance. But that's why they're gay. Because they can't tolerate their sex. Not anymore. So they invent something new. Isn't that just wonderful? So what happened in Austin with all this going on? Huh? Does it affect the society? Yeah, I mean, we got churches, they're outlawing Christmas. I showed that to you last week. I showed you on buses. There's no God. Why care? Why bother? Just have a good day. Don't worry about it anymore. There's no God. And if Jesus was coming, he would have been here a long time ago. So let's skip that one. That's on a bus. That's on a billboard. Whether it be in Canada or America or England, it's everywhere. On billboards. Yep. Violent crimes with suspects who were experiencing homelessness rose 10% last year throughout Austin. A new report shows more than 2,300 people experiencing homelessness live in Austin because of gay governing. The Austin Police Department is one of the most professional police departments in this country. Austin decided to defund them. In 2020, they were also one of the first police departments in this country to have their budget slashed by a bunch of queers. And as part of the defund policy, the police movement, then the gay government did the same to Portland, Oregon. And now they're taken over by the homeless. Their businesses are taken over, being slashed, burnt, destroyed. Same thing happened in all the other places. LA, Seattle, San Francisco. And in Austin, the first openly gay person to be elected as a council member, which is one of the people who voted this process in to defund the police and create homosexuality throughout Austin, manifesting homelessness everywhere. Gay council member Jimmy Flanagan was elected to serve people of Austin in 2016. If you study, Mr. Flanagan has done a lot. He's brought in Satanism into the schools. That was really nice. He established a legal way for children to learn how to be drag. Yep, he actually has classes for children to be drag. He did that because he's the head of the council. Governor Abbott claimed that Austin is #1 city in America in the year-to-year percentage increasing in murders, with a percentage increase of more than 64% for the first half of this year. Austin, Texas has one of the most prominent and active LGBT populations in the United States. Austin was acclaimed as part of the gayest cities in America. Austin, Texan voters may elect the state first openly LGBT and black legislator this year. Vinton Jones and Yolanda Jones and Christian Manuel Hayes, all a bunch of queers, are running for open Texas House seats in Dallas and Houston and Beaumont, respectively. All three are gay and would become the first openly LGBTQISTV LLK black state legislator if elected. Now that was back in 2016 and 2020, and the city is pretty much destroyed. Oh, just to show you what happens. Larceny and theft is the biggest crime, the most significant uptick in 2020, with 21% increase and 39% increase in theft from vehicles in San Francisco. It also was defunded by homosexual councils. Homicides are one of the crime continuing to rise from pre-pandemic levels. 56 were reported in 2021. San Francisco metro area ranks highest in LGBT percentage. The San Francisco metropolitan area has the highest percentage of the adult population who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender of any of the 50 U.S. metropolitan areas. This is followed by Portland, Oregon, Austin, and Texas. And those are the ones that I'm reporting on that shows you they are the center hubs of Satanism. And if you study Satanism, you'll find that it is created for the people who are not feeling connected to society, like homosexuals or feminists or lesbians or LGBT of any kind. When they go there, they're told they're normal. They look at a statue of the devil itself, and it has breasts and a penis. I wonder where they get that transgender idea. Well, yeah. Each one of these states, Portland, Oregon, Austin, and Texas, have been taken over by political means. That's what's going on. Their churches have been taken over by Satanists and homosexuals. That's what's going on. They're getting financing through the atheists and the Satanists, putting signs up, making commercials, literally making commercials. I could show you commercials that are telling people that there's no God. Family commercials. In San Francisco, it's gotten so bad. I'm going to show you a map of all the businesses that are closing one day after another. This is San Francisco. Yeah, this is Union Square. Half of Union Square stores are closed because of homosexuals, because of homelessness. And these homeless homosexuals who are deviant people, who have no morals or ethics, spend all their time doing crime. That's all they do. And what do the gay leaders, the political leaders, do? They defund the police. Because they think the police are hateful, mean, get rid of them. We'll hire homosexuals, have them come and counsel. We'll talk people out of doing all this. Well, they tried that in Seattle. They tried that in Portland. They tried that in Austin. They tried that in San Francisco. And the businesses are closing. And the churches are becoming evil, satanic churches of homosexual opportunities to where a woman can marry a woman and a man can marry a man. And you can live in a pagan world and not worry about anything. But it's not true. In all these places, the biggest thing that's really tearing them down, like Target, is that there's hundreds of people that go into the store with shopping carts, just start throwing things into the shopping cart and walk out the door. Hardly anybody doing anything. Because it's just too much. The employees are being threatened. The managers are saying, let them go. Call the police and they're already gone. Every one of these states that have gay councils, gay politicians, satanic churches, all these things, and I'm not saying these things because I don't like them. It's not a like or dislike thing. It's reality. Yeah. You're already going to hell. There's no reason to bring it here. When we reincarnate, we're supposed to be afraid because we've been to hell. And we don't want to do it again. We're supposed to be afraid because we've been to hell. But when we come back and it is hell, then we don't remember going to hell. We just think we're still here. And you can't trust anybody in hell. They're all psychic, mean, astral-driven demons. And it's not true. That's only in hell. We have to use our love and our heart to get stronger. You cannot choose gay. You cannot choose anger. You cannot choose suspicion. You cannot choose jealousy. You cannot. Let's see if I can find something here. So politically, the process of this group, Satanist and the gay group, there's no difference. You know, you need to be clear in that. I know it's shocking to try and go to this position, yeah, and not be moved by all the demons that are around. Yeah, but you need to have strength and courage, you know, in order to get through this world. Yeah, because things like this are happening. They really are. That doesn't seem like it's of this world, does it? Yeah. The guy wearing a dog mask having sex with another man. Called a pup handler. And they teach drag. Leads gay men dressed in fetish gear around as they pretend to be dogs, and they have sex with them. This person was appointed the highest ranking position in the Department of Energy in our government. Yeah. He advised Obama. His lifestyle is all about don't get angry, get elected. change the world. People don't choose these things. Gay people go in, they get elected in political positions, and then they bring their other gay people in to take other positions that they're also in. It's a reality. And it's something that's been going on since Harry Milk. Yeah, people who you watch on TV. You all love these gay people on TV. Here's this guy, Anderson Cooper, super Satanist, complete atheist, homosexual, married to another guy. You know, used to be part of the richest family in the world. They lost all their money. He grew up in a satanic house. And now you watch him on TV as he tells us the news. Tells us the news. And what does he think about pedophiles? Anderson Cooper says, when he came out, the fact is, I am a pedophile. The fact is, I rape little boys. I always have, always will. And I couldn't be any more happy, comfortable with myself, and proud. That's what he wrote. And he got that job. Allies. These are people in our government. That little black lady up there, she thinks she's the president of the United States. That little lady down there in the left, she thinks she's the president of the United States. The guy on the right, on the bottom, he thinks he's going to be president of the United States. I'm not joking. All this is true. And in their minds, these are your leaders. These are your leaders. In Washington, the disturbing secret message of the gay pride flag was shown on the White House as a symbol of dominance for the LGBT movement. It was a sign of victory. It was a declaration of dominance. Jesus, people. When a person becomes a queer, after a while, they meet more queers, and they find out that there's a queer activist movement. How to feel better about being a queer. How to feel strong. How to get other people to stand behind you, even though they're not queer. So they wrote this. 10 commandments to the homosexuals. Queers must be activists. The Bible tells us that Satan has the ability to appear as an angel of light. However, nowhere is this more evident than in the radical attempt to promote homosexuality in the society today as something good. For purpose of deceiving mankind and destroying all souls, Satan has thus given homosexuals 10 following commandments. 1. Always see your sexual opponent Anyone who rejects homosexual acts is your enemy. Project what you see as your sexual disorder onto them by repeatedly calling them homophobes. And then separate the act of sex from its natural purpose of procreation by referring to all homosexual relationships as expressions of love, not lust. Fight to deny those who oppose homosexual acts and their rights to free speech. At the same time, enforce your own right to free speech on others by copiously using liberal media and other outlets to label your opponents every unsavory thing from bigot to idiot. Use the words equally and hate often and unrelentlessly, as if you, the homosexual, understand their meaning. If anyone objects, accuse them of discrimination. Keep in mind that politicians and judges are your friends. Many of them are openly practicing gay, and the rest, swayed by the power and the almighty dollar, will do anything for your vote. Remember, too, that in today's political correct, morally relativistic society, there is no objective moral order. It often takes only one civil judge to side in favor for you to achieve your ends. Assure everyone has no religion will be made to suffer from society's acceptance of homosexuality. Speak always and often of equality and coexistence. Claim as a sham, snare, and illusion that traditional marriage and homosexual marriage can live side by side in complete harmony. Dismiss as silly and unviable any attempt to show that the pill, which was introduced to separate and tear asunder the act of sex from the gift of life, has led to the disintegration of the family. At the same time, and whenever possible, work diligently behind the scene to drag your religious opponent into the court whenever his moral values ever begin to clash with yours. Test and try every court until you find a judge who is your friend. Especially work for religious adoption agencies and church ministries who lecture on the evils of homosexuality and same-sex marriage in their sermons. Where this is not possible, infiltrate the priesthood so as to corrupt religion from within. These are rules that you are handed as a gay person. Redefine joyful and well-established words and symbols like marriage, spouse, gay, and rainbow. Attach them to homosexual acts in order to give sin an innocent, natural, pleasing appeal. This, in effect, is the homosexual lobby manifesto that is sweeping the world. The Antichrist, Satan, is amongst you. LGBTs demand you watch pro-gay commercials. Homosexuals' intrusion into our leisure time, most normal men and women find homosexual activities as uncomfortable, and we simply don't want to know. Yet, unfortunately, if you want to watch a romance on TV, homosexual romance presented essentially as pro-gay commercial is often included. LGBTs have even sprinkled themselves throughout children's cartoons. The placement of essentially pro-homosexual commercials in almost every media product has become so disgusting that many here give up viewing or allowing their children to watch it all. Any mainline media product made in the last couple of years So there's a difficulty in process of finding the truth. Yeah. And it's because of all this activity that is going on that is not true. What they say is not true. That men cannot become a woman. Homosexuals actually do not exist. It's a choice. You're not born into it. You're not born a feminist. You're not born a homosexual. You have to choose. Yeah. And in that process, there's a great deal of difficulty for humanity to try and make decisions on anything. Who are you going to vote for? Yeah. I mean, you have to listen to Trump lie. All the politicians lie every time you ever see it. You know, they always make up shit about the other guy. So, that, you know, you'll go, really? He raped somebody? Can you prove that? He killed Kennedy? Can you prove that? Oh my gosh, I don't want to vote for someone who killed Kennedy. Yeah, but they always say that. They always say really crazy things and never really true or exaggerated. You know, so it's difficult for any of us to come to a decision. You know, the American government gives us a food program, a food pyramid, and changes it about every 20 years. You know, and you talk to your nutritionist, you talk to your doctor, you know, and they go, well, you know, it's better if you don't eat a lot of fat because that'll hurt your heart. You know, clogs your veins, ruins fatty liver, gives you a fatty liver. Yeah, all those things. You don't want to eat fat. That common sense. You know, but that is an assumption. It's an assumption. We don't know the truth. We've never tested it. You know, so we make that assumption, and it's one we check off and say, well, for sure, that's got to be unhealthy. Okay. And then we go, well, what's included with that is red meat or other meats, and they have a lot of fat, animal fat. Animal fat gets hard, you know. When you see it, you know, it gets hard. Must get hard inside your body. Must ruin you, destroy you, clogs your veins, kills you, gives you a heart attack. That's what it does. Don't eat meat. Yep, don't eat meat. Don't eat meat, don't eat fat. Yep. And then they say, well, you can eat fish. But then you look in the fish and you go, mercury? That doesn't sound good. You know, all the toxic waste going into the ocean. You know, how is that affecting the fish? What do you know what you're eating? You look it up, and you find, my God, you know, they literally do test the fish, and they do have a lot of mercury. You know, so you have to actually avoid. You know, so now you're thinking, trying to decide what to do. I don't know. But your mind already decided you shouldn't eat meat. So now you got an alternative. You got to eat fish or something like that, or chicken. Yeah, and then a lot of people are vegetarian. In a lot of countries, eat a lot of rice, eat vegetables. They may live 5, 10, 8 years longer than yourself. That makes you jump to a conclusion. That's the healthiest diet. That's got to be it. But what about the environment? What about social stress? What about other things that really do amount to a lot as to what makes a person die rather than the food? You know, so we really haven't come to grips with most of it. Yeah. And we have a lot of people who love to make assumptions and call themselves educators. So they've come to decide that the reason why the planet is using so much water and all the nutrients from the earth is because of cows. And they burp. And it creates methane. And they eat everything. All the food. Yeah. And that's what is said. People who don't want to eat meat, who are vegetarian, they look at those slaughtering houses and it becomes a big thing in their head, and they're just going, wow, that's terrible. We should not have that. It's true, we shouldn't. And they look at the chickens and they go, oh my God, look at the way they're treated, and look how they're all stuck in there, and all the pigs are stuck together, and it was a terrible thing. That's all true. But that has nothing to do with what you eat. That's how you maintain your product, your animals. Yeah. So there's a long road for us to really come to a place to where we have a basic understanding as to what we should be eating. Because people are dying a lot. People are dying from obesity. People are dying from diabetes, heart failure, prostate cancer, cancer of the female organs, yeah, cancer of the breasts, yeah, cancer's getting us. And what can we do? Well, if you study, and you can study, you can check out Harvard and see what they've done. You can see what group study has done in regards to eating certain foods and how that affected people. Yeah, how certain diets have affected people and changed their health dramatically. Yeah, like going to the keto diet. Yeah, and actually attaining ketosis in your brain. Yeah, you getting a ketogenic process going on. But we don't know what that means. Nurses, you ask a nurse and they go, oh, that's vitally terrible. You do not want to do that. You want to avoid that. You know, so that scares you. She knows. But she doesn't know anything. You know, so if you study it, you find out that, you know, people aren't dying from ketosis and they're not having this and that. But what they are having is that their symptoms of diabetes, their symptoms of arthritis has gone down dramatically. Their obesity goes down dramatically, and it could be maintained naturally depending on the diet. Yeah, and we're really at a place to where we really don't know about what is the best food to have in a diet. Yeah. So then we got the fanatics that go, wow, you got to end all the meat because that's just causing us to to take up all the water, and use all the land, waste all the food and all that. But when you study it, that's not true. That's not true. If you look at it, if we were all to do the right thing, I mean right thing as far as I'm concerned, but if we were to eat meat, study the carnivore diet. That's pretty far out there. I mean, that really takes you all the way to the other side of the pyramid. And in the carnivore diet, you're primarily eating meat, and you're eating fat, drinking water, and taking electrolytes. And you would, if you're in a good position, you know what you're doing, you're eating the organs too, or you're taking them in supplement form. Because from that, you get all the nutrients, minerals, all these things come from the whole animal. And you don't get that from any groups of vegetables or groups of fruit or anything like that, grains and all that stuff. You just simply do not get the health benefits that you get just from being carnivore. Just from being carnivore. That's a lot to learn. We can eliminate diabetes. That would be wonderful. We could eliminate obesity. That would be wonderful. We could eliminate arthritis and the amount of suffering we get from being inflamed. Yeah, so those things we can get if we go vegetarian and if we eat fruits and vegetables and stuff, but we don't get the ketosis. And our brain is enormously ketosis. Our brain is made up of fat and lecithin. So it requires these types of nutrients in order for our brain to function properly, to be clear-headed. And you, in your process, just to be clear-headed. It's not about gaining any kind of spiritual enlightenment or getting smarter or any of that. It's just about getting rid of things that are causing you fog in your brain and inflammation in your body. And you're fueling your body on the wrong thing, and we don't know it. We're told that we should fuel off carbohydrates because it's the quickest fuel. We can immediately get fuel from that, but that'll also make us diabetic. So following this, we kind of find that if we look at a vegetarian diet or the average diet, which is pretty crazy, Jack in the Box and restaurants and everything, you get a big salad, you get a steak, a potato, and vegetables, and maybe a dessert. Imagine, that's a meal. You're going to eat that as a meal. But if in my case, I eat like very little comparatively, and everything I eat is extremely selected. It's not to fulfill a desire. It's not to fulfill a sweet tooth. It's not, anything like that. It's because I know what's healthy and what's not, and how much I need and how much I don't. And I keep it regulated like that. So imagine you kill one cow, and that one cow serves you 4 months. 4 months of food every day. 4 months of food. One cow. Killed one animal. Produces 440 pounds of beef, 220 pounds of which goes to steak and other prime cuts, whereas the other 220 go to ground beef. An average of 1,200-pound steer can feed up to 1,150 meals for one person. A serving is an average 6 ounce to 10 ounces. You can get a long ways on that. Your family can get a long ways on that. So that's one cow. And what's it eating? What's it eating? Imagine, you got one cow. What's it eating? It's grass-fed. Well, it's eating grass. Where's the grass coming from? It's natural. It comes off of a mountainside or a field. Yeah? And most other animals in that animal area, the pig, the chicken, they can all eat waste product food. Waste product. Food you don't eat. The 60% of food that gets wasted can go to those animals. So it's never wasted. It's not an animal eating food, our food, taking away from us or causing us to grow more food in order to feed the animals. Chickens can be grown and naturally fed right out of the field. Yeah? Pigs can be grown and naturally fed right out of the field. All animals can be fed this way. Yeah? So it doesn't really require the vegetable kingdom or grain or all these other things to massively feed these animals for our food. Yeah. But imagine you want grain. Well, that takes a lot of water. That takes a lot of ground. That takes a lot of seed. That takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of land. Enormous amount of land. Yeah? If you want to just grow anything, corn, it takes a lot of land. And if you want it to grow right, it takes pesticides. Yeah, and we eat a lot of corn. But what if we didn't eat corn? And we didn't even grow the corn for our animals? Then we would use 1/2 the water and use 1/2 the land and kill 1/10 the amount of animals. And what do I mean by that? I mean that we kill rodents, we kill bugs, we kill animals, lots of them, in order to have our vegetables. So there's the problem with everything is witchcraft. And it's the process that witchcraft brings about. And, you know, most people do not have an astrology, book. They don't do astrology. They have someone else do it for them. They go to the newspaper, they go, oh, I'm Cancer or I'm Sagittarius. What's it like for me today? Yeah. A lot of people do that. A lot. And there are people, palm readers, on every corner, especially in cities. I've never seen one here in Maui, ever. But I do see them in LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, everywhere. On every major street corner. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds in every city. And then there's the 900 line we can call a hotline psychic. I mean, that's crazy. We have not only the mediumship, but we have homosexuals that are deviating love. They're calling lust love. And that leads humanity to think that sex is love. Sex is love. And that, you could sell it. It doesn't matter to anything. You can have 100 sexual partners before you get married and lie about it. So you never had anybody. You're a virgin. People do it. And the more feminism comes into it, the more that the lifestyle that we have going on right now with both male and female. Women are at the highest of 60% have more sex than men. 60% more sex than men. So that means those girls out there are aborting a lot of babies. And the guys aren't making the babies. They're not having the sex. So this is girls that just going from guy to guy to guy to guy. Not individual guys. Staying with one guy. Having a child. Raising it. Nope. They say, no, I got things to do. I got to get through school. Then I got to do my job. I have a career I got to develop. Maybe when I'm 40, I might be able to slow down a bit, have a kid. If it works. So I'm not looking for a husband. I'm not looking for commitment. Abortion is fine with me. And having one-night stands and sex with a lot of guys makes me feel pretty. And that's it. That's life. They go to the bar, they drink it up, and their life is so empty. It leads people to the allyship of lust, which is in the homosexual group. They're living a whole life on their own in lust. And so are the homosexuals. So they're just one step away from joining that group. They get all their tattoos all the way up their arm. It's a process of defiling holiness and never developing holiness. Quick temper, no holiness there. It's all in the mind. Oh, I'm a Christian, so I must be holy. I'm a Buddhist, I must be holy. Yeah, I have a holy friend. Who's a priest. He's my friend. I must be holy. I made a commitment, even as a nun. I must be holy. But how many nuns do you know that beat the shit out of little kids in school? Holler at you and treat you like shit. They're not holy. And the priests are raping the little boys. Are they holy? Who's holy here? Only Jesus. And I'm telling you, being holy, I can see why you have a hard time trying to be holy. Because everything's against you. Yeah, you're anti-homosexual. Yeah. You're holy. If you're holy, you have elements and character and profound understanding that makes you holy, because you make choices that are holy choices. You don't argue with anybody. You talk it out. You slowly but surely make friends where you started off wrong. You have to. You have to. It is life. You can't run away from the hardships of life. That's very girly, that's very gay. Everybody needs to get stronger, wiser, and get holy. We really need to get holy. So I do darshans, I do this, I have the monastery behind me, and that's an energetic principle that I put out completely by myself. Completely by myself. Demons beat on me like I'm just a whipping boy. But, what are you going to do? It's the truth. So I stand in that process and accept that process and keep teaching in this process. And that brings on more shit to me, just by reading or teaching or accepting the responsibility to help you become holy. Because that's the last thing they want, is for you to make a choice of holiness. Because you have to, holiness means that you are instilling in you the holiness that you did. You chose not to get angry. You chose to talk it out. You chose to work it out. You chose to become friends. You chose that. Because if you don't, your anger will make you a homosexual over time. Look at all the rest of them out there. How do you think they got there? Same thing. All right. So that's going to be my teaching for today. I'm going to do one puja and we'll meditate together. Okay, this is an invocation. And what this does, and everything I do, just think of me as Jesus. Yeah. And the whole life, from the moment I took my first breath, I had to deal with demons. My mother, my father, my brother, all my family. They're all freaking out. People are killing babies all around me. And everybody's scared. And demons are all coming to me saying, I'm at fault. I'm the reason this is happening. And as a baby, you'd think, wow, how much cognition does a baby have? Well, let me tell you, I had a lot. A lot more than anybody else. Yeah, but I could see the demons. I could see my mom was too weak. I could see my father was too weak. I could see they were going to give in to their own demons. And I wasn't going to go where I was supposed to go and do what I was supposed to do. And I had to learn to accept that. Yeah. So that process is a process to where my life is abundant with angels. My life. Yeah, mine. So I share that with you through my prayers because they're my prayers. It's my holiness. I have attained these things. I have these relationships and I have authority because I'm a member of these angels. So I speak, as a relationship, which is I'm hoping all the rest of you will work it out amongst yourselves to have these good relationships because we're all angels. So in this one, I'm invoking that we all become one and that the angels help move us into that, dispel the demons that are in you. and do the things that you're meant to do on this earth, which is take care of your fellow brothers and sisters. Because trust me, everyone has been your brother and sister. Black, white, Chinese, whatever. We've been here for so long. We've gone around and around and around through relationships. And in a whole life, we have loved people. And then they're gone. And we reincarnate. And we find new people to love and old people to remember and love again. It keeps going on. And we can work out every single thing that's ever gone wrong. Every single thing. Because of angels. Because of angels. You're an angel. So that's my process, is that I have a covenant with God, and my relationship is with all the angels of God. So I know them by name, and I can call on them and bring them to you in a song, because I can't will them to you. I can't say you could do this, but I can tell you that I am doing this, and that you could receive the blessing if you relax and receive the difference between Jesus Christ and a regular human being. And that Jesus Christ is an archangel and holds the covenant with all the angels of heaven. So we can overthrow this, even though it's very dense, even though it's so much. But every single man and woman must be saved. And you can't find fault in anybody and help me at the same time. So listen to this. About a minute or so into it, I'm going to start oming, and that's when we'll all om together. Okay, take a deep breath. Wake up. Live your life. Love each other. All the greed activity bring to earth the light of all the religions reawaken their sacred light. Heal the sick, heal the Okay, just relax. So, since my teachings are focused on trying to dispel the glamour that is in the world, and its manifestation is homosexuality, but the problem is that that is not the outcome. Not the outcome. The outcome of homosexuality is ravenous murder, to the point of cannibalism and mass murder of hundreds of people per person. That's what gay people are led to. They're led to that. It's an outcome. You start off angry, you start off jealous, you start off envious. You're a regular guy, a regular girl. And slowly but surely, you continue that process to where the demons lead you to other demonic people who are homosexual and you don't know it. And your process is leading you through those demons of hate. And it's not. Your process starts off in hate. So it's jealousy, enviousness, all those things can't get you in a relationship, can't get you to work out a relationship. So those things in the outcome, they do lead you to homosexuality. But that's not the outcome. The outcome in homosexuality is to make you a raving murderer, to where you kill not one person, but many, 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 many people. And you lust after their blood and their flesh. And you would rather it be a pedophile situation because it gives you more power over a person. That's how much anger. It's evil. It's evil. So just to show you, what happens in a thing like that. Look at a list of homosexual mass murderers. Jim Jones, we know him. He killed 917 people. Mohammed Mohel, he killed 84 in Nice, France, including 10 children. California freeway killer William G. Bonin murdered 14 boys, ages 12 to 19, sexually molested them, tortured, mutilated, strangled, dumped their naked bodies. One was stabbed 70 times. Another had an ice pick in his head. Others had cigarette burns. In 1969, convicted of assaulting 5 boys, sentenced to 5 years. In 75, he was in prison for another rape, paroled. And in 10 to 78, he began his homo rape and murder spree immediately, and police finally caught up to him while he was sexually assaulting a 15-year-old boy in his van. That's homosexuality. Patrick Kearney murdered 32, cutting boys up and putting them in trash bags, dumping along the LA freeway. It's enough for a person to kill one person. It's pretty heavy when you kill 2 people. But you got to be fucking gay and have a long anger issue you never got rid of and led you into homosexuality, and now you are a raving demon. Thomas Hamilton murdered 16 Scotland mass murder like little boys in various states of undress. Called him Mr. Creepy. Got even by killing 16 kindergartner children and their teacher, and then himself on March 13th, known by police as a risk to children. Andrew Cunanan murdered Zignini Versace, fashion designer. This male prostitute was wanted in connection with 4 other murders nationwide. I'm telling you, this can go on and on. I have over 15,000, and I'm not going through them. These are just people you might know. Donald Harvey murdered dozens in a Kentucky hospital, between 37 and as many as 70. Bruce Davis, Charles Manson's accomplice, who molested and murdered 27 young men and boys in Illinois. Nathaniel Bar Jonah, homosexual cannibal. Bar Jonah sexually molested boys in Massachusetts and Montana, butchered at least one, a 10-year-old in Great Falls named Zachary Ramsey. We all know Richard Speck. He murdered 8 nursing students, bragged about it on a videotape showing him having sex with an inmate and bragging about the many inmates he had sodomized. He died of a heart attack in 1991. He was a well-known Satanist. Cora Henley and Brooks. Dean Arnold Correll's sex ring with Elmer Wayne Henley and David Owen Brooks murdered and tortured 29 men and boys in Texas. Juan Corona murdered 25 migrant workers and even molested their corpses. This is some pretty bad people. So I think that's enough for tonight. I'm trying to explain that the world is on a course. And Satan is the leader of hate, and he's a homosexual. And the process of just being angry, even a little, serves Satan, does not serve Jesus. It serves Satan. And when you do that, Satan blesses you with the power of becoming a demon maker. So your anger, your hostility, your aggression, your jealousy, any of those things, they don't serve God. They serve Satan. The raising of your voice serves Satan. Trying to get your point across. Serve Satan. You have to become humble to work your way back to receiving blessings from God. You want to serve God. You can't serve God choosing anger, jealousy, enviousness, pride, any of it. You are getting a horrible curse. It's like they say, you cuss out someone, you curse. You holler at someone, you get angry, you're cursing. You're making things worse. And they don't get fixed. They fester. They cause suffering later. And everybody's got to pay. We all have to pay. And we pay by having a homosexual president. And everybody in the government gay. Making laws against us, angels. And we have to stand up for God. We can't do this sort of stuff. I hope I'm making this clear.